Right.
You know, this is about my kids not dying of stage bird flu. It isn't about me caring about Glenn Beck, the Pumpkinhead on Fox News. I'm way past all that crap, folks. I don't care about it. Go ahead.
I hear you, man. I hear you. What I wanted to talk about was possible cures for if this were to happen, and it is happening with swine.
I know there's documented different classes of mushrooms and elderberry concentrates that are documented to work.
Okay. Also, Justine, my sister, told me, she sent me this email about a company called Natural Solutions, and it is called Miracle Mineral Solutions. Have you heard of that?
Heard of what again?
It's called MMS, Miracle Mineral Solutions.
I know that a lot of us are mineral deficient, and that a really good mineral supplement is good. But listen, I appreciate your call. Jaron, who's into herbs and stuff, said his wife, or girlfriend just sent this, excuse me, says, and I've heard of this, the last great plague of 1664, 1665 cover all of Europe. It's the vinegar for thieves. No Greater Joy Ministries. I've heard of that. Why don't we put that on screen if we can? Or if we can't, don't worry about it. We got one guy doing the job of 3 people in there. And usually the 3 people are doing the job of 5 people. Let's go to Mark in Oregon. Mark, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. How you doing?
Good, sir.
Oh, Alex, just a couple of things here. First one, you know that they're combining the a type of human virus, bird flu virus, as well as your swine flu virus.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's been seen under the microscope.
Yeah, I mean, it's basic. No, I have Reuters and AP admitting that. If I haven't made that clear, I'm going to make it clear. Mm-hmm. This is a super engineered virus, 95%, and that's conservative. I mean, I should say 99.9. This is staged. There's no doubt. The question is it a trial balloon to fearmonger and set up their infrastructure, or to give the Mexican government cover to play the savior and to sell a bunch of Tamiflu for Obama's people and Bush's people and Rumsfeld that own the stock? Or is this the big one? Go ahead.
Oh, is it the beta test on top of all of that? You know how they roll their accomplishments into one move is a good chess player.
No, exactly. I've always said, and I know you're a long-time listener, that they're going to have lots of little beta tests before the big one.
Well, maybe they won't need many beta tests, Alex, as far as they've gotten along here. They probably go back through history and they analyze from the historical record how people reacted to pandemic situations from the beginning to the end of them. I'm sure they've got their satanic means down to a science at this point. But Alex, I mainly called in today to really ask you to please investigate, through the internet and whatever medical sources you may have, the effectiveness of essential oil of oregano. Okay, I've used it now for more than 15 years. I've helped numerous people with numerous maladies with it that I
No, I know. I mean, that's another thing. Oil of oregano, incredible antiviral properties, but I don't want to say any of this is a cure. The biggest thing is if flu is actually killing people around you, don't get fear-mongered and run out and take their vaccine. Because it last 6 years in a row, they haven't gotten it right for what the real, for the flu of that year. They guessed the mutation. And I'm just saying, if it really is breaking out, don't think if you got oil of oregano and garlic and a few other things that it's going to make you invincible or make your baby invincible. Stay away from people if it turns out to be a real pandemic and turns out to be some new super flu.
Alex, it's a preventative. It will boost the immune system to the point where I doubt very seriously that anybody is going to get it, okay? Now, as a curative, it is just as effective on all flu viruses from everything I've seen. Now, when I called you, I don't know, it's been 6 weeks or more, I mentioned to you that on Steve Quayle's radio show, when Steve was still on shortwave about 2.5, 3 months ago now, Hawk did the guest host on that show one day. And what Hawk reported, he didn't say maybe, and he didn't say if, he said that Dr. Cass Ingram, who is the medical doctor turned naturopathic type doctor, excuse me, who publicized the effectiveness and then wrote a book called The Cures in the Cupboard, giving you, 60 or 70 major maladies to humankind that oregano addresses.
No, I understand. It's been talked about for ever 12 years, 13 years I've been on Genesis.
But he said university studies had recently proven about 3 months ago that the oil of oregano actually kills the Ebola virus as well as the deadly form of the bird flu virus.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate, sir. I appreciate your call. We've got to keep running here. I won't get to everybody. Missy in Michigan. Thank you so much, Missy.
Hi, Alex. I have 2 questions for you. First, would you be willing to share with us how you would personally handle it if you or someone in your family got infected?
Well, I mean, I agree with what the caller in Oregon, Mark, was just saying, that oil of oregano, elderberry, vitamin C, but it's hard once somebody gets infected and they're vomiting their guts out and crapping their guts out to help them then. You want the preventative. And I know that garlic, I know oil of oregano, I know some of these different mushrooms have been proven to be extremely antiviral and really help. But talking to other medical doctors and actually looking at the studies he just mentioned, and I am aware of them, it helps. I don't want to tell anybody there's a silver bullet. I mean, you know, if this stuff really is as bad as they say, again, we're hoping that's not the case, but the media is really hyping it up, or in the next event, or whatever's coming down the road, it's good to have these stores of this, but to stay away from people. You know, don't think if you're just taking oil oregano, you're invincible. But again, this is probably just media hype and a bunch of fear-mongering. We'll know more tomorrow. I'll be on the air 4 to 6 p.m. to integrate the info and to take your calls, and we'll know more on Monday. But if it's true, as BBC is reporting and others, that they're covering up the real extent of the deaths, and it's over 200 in Mexico City, and this stuff, they admit, has spread all over North America, this is a serious situation.
My second question is, do you have a call into Dr. Carly? I'd love to hear what she has to say about all this.
That's a good idea. Well, we're going to get Carly on. We're going to get a lot of different medical doctors and people on the show. I mean, did you notice I've been talking about bird flu a lot the last few years because I noticed they'd pipe down in their fear-mongering and propaganda. It's when they hype it up, always out of a clear blue sky, that then they play the games because they want to pre-program. And notice we've been doing show after show. Did one last Monday before any of this broke out. The news broke on, Wednesday. Notice that we have been, and the Baxter, people don't know the Baxter story. You should go to Infowars.com and read, and PrisonPlanet.com and read Swine Flu is Deadly Mix of Never-Before-Seen Viruses. And then we linked all the stories and articles about Baxter and give you the full picture there. Another one, swine flu outbreak originated at Fort Dix in 1976. The original plague that killed 40 million in 1918 originated at a U.S. military base. Those were staged events. That's why President Ford was ready with the swine flu shot that killed so many people. And then folks refused to take it. They're running eugenics operations. See, they scare you with the fear-mongering of something that probably isn't that bad. Then everybody runs out and gets the vaccine. That's really what's dangerous. Go ahead.
That's it. Thanks a lot for what you're doing.
Thank you. I mean, there's so many facets to all of this, and I hope I'm covering them all here today. Let's go ahead and take another call. Brian in Canada. Brian, go ahead.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
I was doing my research here on the Internet. So far, they've retracted it. They said that the people aren't under quarantine in Lakeshore and Dorval, and the official from Quebec government didn't want to say that it's a confirmed case, neither did the Canadian official. But there's only some of the news that is covering it. What's strange, CBC usually covers everything. They haven't even mentioned this. So it's me, from my experience with the SARS outbreak in Toronto a few years ago, they always seem to wait until it's too late before they say it. And me...
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, is that, and in fact, I've noticed that. I was watching TV today and had the radio on, everything on, trying to, really gauge because I have a bad feeling. I hope this isn't a big event. It's already a big event, but I hope it's just hype. Yeah, but I have a bad feeling, which my gut's never wrong, but I can always misinterpret. That may mean that this is the propaganda salvo into something down the road. I'm not sure, but my gut, again, is never wrong. I can just misinterpret what my gut's telling me. But the issue here is that, yes, I was watching Fox, CNN before I went on air here, too, and there was nothing about it. And normally, if one person dies in Hunan province of China, or one lady, as are happening, dies in Cairo of bird flu, they hype it. Nothing about this when it's in Kansas, when it's in New York, when it's in Canada, when it's in Mexico. And you're saying now they're retracting. That is interesting.
Yeah, and another thing that I'm kind of fearful of, what you just mentioned about them trying to scare you into their arms. Here in Quebec, we always try and, most people talk about getting their flu shots in the spring and in the fall. And here in Canada, in the springtime, Mexico is one of the top places because it's the cheapest places to get vacations to. So you have oodles of people going down to Mexico, and now if they come back here and they get scared by all of this news, oh, I better go get my spring flu shot from Baxter.
And then meanwhile, Baxter to 18 factories mails out the source virus of the most deadly bird flu out there that kills 90% of humans that ingest it, but it's not airborne yet. And they mix it in with a spectrum of normal, very contagious, which do kill people, by the way. Regular flu kills 15,000 conservatively a year in the U.S. alone, hundreds of thousands worldwide. Well, it's actually, they say millions because of debilitated people. And then they mix this deadly thing with a virus, with regular flu viruses, and inject it, all mix it all together, which then the scientist in the news said would be the perfect way to make it mutate. I mean, what is going on? Exactly. You've got all this stuff